What crazy thing did American Airlines do this week?
Yeah. So American Airlines, we know we've been waiting for these miles that we earned in January and February to turn into loyalty points. And we were promised that would happen in early March. And now it's started to happen. As we record this, probably by the time anyone listens to this, it's fully appeared, your loyalty points, if they haven't already, in your account. And so here's the crazy thing is that while we've been doing crazy things like signing up for free trials of various things or buying SIM cards that we don't even want in order to earn American Airlines miles and loyalty points, during that time, a lot of those miles got clawed back, meaning they were initially appeared to post to our account and then they were reversed out when the powers that be decided for whatever reason that we weren't actually eligible for those miles. And so the crazy thing that happened is, at least initially, American Airlines has posted the loyalty points for all of those miles, even the ones that have been clawed back.
Crazy McCraziness. Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I started hearing reports that loyalty points were posting. I went to my account just to be sad and depressed about how I could have had elite status, but much to my surprise, I had American Airlines gold status and way more loyalty points than I expected. And I went back and pulled out the calculator and realized that they had added all of those things that had gotten clawed back, which in my case was most of what I had earned. I mean, I only expected to have a very little bit of loyalty points after almost everything had been clawed back. So in the end, I didn't get any redeemable miles for a bunch of those like Verizon SIM card purchases. But so far as we record this, I have loyalty points. Now, I don't know, Greg, I don't expect those to hang around, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. So going forward, I fully expect that if you go through a portal like tomorrow and buy something and it initially posts and then gets clawed back, I fully expect the loyalty points to get clawed back then. The reason I have some hope here that your points will stick around is that they didn't do it like on a transaction by a transaction basis. They awarded them all in one big lump sum of loyalty points. And I don't know. I have a hard time imagining American prioritizing, like going through and figuring out where they gave too many and clawing those back. I'm not saying it won't happen.
I don't know. Did you read some of those court cases over the miles that got taken away when they shut down everybody's accounts? I don't know. They might go through things with a fine tooth comb. You know,
again, it's absolutely possible. And I don't think anyone should be, yelling or crying about it. If that happens, you still might have a legitimate reason to yell or cry about the fact that it got clawed back in the first place. That's a whole nother story.
Right. Yes, for sure. Yeah. And I mean, in my case, for example, I had a bunch of those Verizon prepaid lines because at the time they were offering 6,200 miles or something for a Verizon prepaid line, and they took them all back, and there's no good reason for it. And one of these days I'll get around to filing a claim for that because I should have gotten the miles. As far as I can tell, prepaid was one of the qualifying things. But I'm at least moderately happy that I got elite status out of it for now. So that much is a good thing. And then, of course, people who followed along with the blog saw that there was an opportunity that came up to port those lines out to Visible Mobile for what at the time was a $200 bonus per line. And so I ported almost all of those Verizon lines over to Visible. And so I'm hoping that I will get those rebates as well. I think I will. So I feel like I'm going to come out well ahead of this, even if I don't get the redeemable miles. So, I mean, part of me is like, I don't know, maybe I should just leave it alone. I got the loyalty points. Let's not, break what doesn't need to be fixed or whatever, fix what's not broken. Maybe I should just leave it alone, but we'll see. So yeah, I mean, so far so good. I'm excited that they've posted. And so for me, I'm over gold status. I'm halfway ish to platinum status. You?
So roughly how many miles loyalty points?
I think 38,000, just over 38,000.
Around 38,000
so far.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you'll remember, I was on vacation when you started posting about the Verizon deal, and so I actually let it go. I sort of intended to do it, but I each day I was just like, I've got other stuff. And I didn't do it at all. And then when people started reporting clawbacks, it's like, oh, good. Oh, yeah, so anyway, that's sort of my excuse for not having that many. So I only had, of all the things I've done, I did a bunch of free trials and other things. Only one thing has clawed back so far. Bespoke Post, I think, is the one. Mm-hmm. I can't remember if that was 1,000 or 1,200 points, but
something like that. Yeah.
But so I'm sitting on just over 15,000, and I should
get some work to do, Craig.
I should have about 14,000 if that clawed back one hadn't really, created loyalty points for me. So yeah, so I'm way behind. I'm
behind. You gotta get your game up there, Craig.
I definitely need to work harder and faster. Although that said, percentage wise, if you look at the fact that we have 14 months to get there this time, this is an exception because we have January and February in addition to all the months up through next February to get to elite status. The rate I'm going will just get me to my goal of 125,000. If I do the same,
maintain that pace.
If I average this pace,
that's a bit of a marathon, Greg. I don't know if you're a marathoner or not, but if you're gonna keep that pace up for 14. I don't know, Greg. That's a tough pace to keep up. You gotta get out of here.
I would much prefer getting some buffer, get some big wins under the belt, but that's where I'm at. That's where you are. There you go, John.
So there you go.
There's our status.
There's the update, and hopefully in the end, I'm going to end up with those Verizon things making some few bucks because I turned out to need the extra lines for something. So I was able to grab some phones, and so I've activated them. I got the SIM cards in the phones. Everything's going on, so that's looking like it could end up being profitable. So again, I should probably just accept the loss on the miles.
Yes, you should. Oh, one more thing. I do need to mention the biggest flop of a deal, or what we thought was the biggest flop of a deal, was this Byte thing where you order a impression kit and for about $100, and if you had a city card that with merchant offers that you could sync to, you got your $100 back through you. I mean, if everything worked, you'd get $100 back through Citi. You get a bunch of points through Simply Miles by linking that card there, and you'd get $45 back from Top Cash Back. That's the deal I tried. Initially, the only thing that registered was a $45 from Top Cash Back, and it was looking pretty dismal because I spent $100. But just in the last few days, both the $100 from Citi and the Simply Miles showed up. So it ended up being both a moneymaker and a point/loyalty point maker. So yeah, it turned out to be a good deal.
Nice. Too bad I missed out on that one. I don't have the Citi merchant offers at all. So I kind of ignored that one. But in hindsight, between the portal and the miles payout, maybe it would have been worth going after. I don't know. We'll see. I guess
hard to say without that $100 back. It was questionable.
Yep.